Good night, Sports Frenzy family. Good night, everyone, to another Sports Frenzy podcast. I'm your host, Juan, with me tonight I have Wally West, man who has been ready to go, the Elaine Thompson fanatic, and Ewan Blake spokesperson. We also have Shakes, the man who don't hitch to just speak the truth. Might come across controversial, but this man speaks facts, man. And then we have another man who they call him the prophet. He's one of the most likable fella around here because this man just cool and calm and just the upset plays safe, but the safest man no, the man that plays it safe around here is the African wicked man Chris. But talking about none other than Ryan.
No man, wicked man is over controversy one.
Welcome gentlemen. How are y'all doing? Trust that you all are in some good spirit and enjoying some football and some check and field action.
I didn't get one, so I'm good.
And I'm sure that you guys are also enjoying some basketball as well. Tonight we're going to start by discussing something that is going to come close up. Well, it's basically right here because it will actually start tomorrow. We're talking about the national senior trials for athletes, and as I said, it culminates tomorrow at the National Stadium. Now, there are some interesting events on schedule, and we look no further, and I just can't go around it. We're just going to just jump right in and start to talk about that women's 100 meter. So the biggest surprise, and it might be surprise to some, might not be to some, because if you're closely connected, you would have heard about it. But guess what? One Shericka Jackson will be partaking in the women's 100 meter. A 100 meter field that is already stacked, but as the producer and I have been discussing, Stephen Francis doesn't put his athletes into things that he's not confident about. So obviously this girl has been doing something that he's impressed by, and he has thrown her into the mix. Now we're joined by my African brother, Chris Lynch.
Wicked man Chris. Oh.
night. Shakes, Wally West, Ryan, Levon,
Nice up,
and the Englishman behind all of this.
But we're discussing some tracks. Well, we're not started yet, really, Chris, but we're saying that the women's 100 meter is a stack field. So we have Shelly-Ann Fraser, was the fastest in the world this year, the second fastest woman of all time. And you have Elaine Thompson, Natasha Morrison, Brianna Williams, Kemba Nelson, Shericka Jackson, Natalia White, Akira Nugent, Ashanti Moore. Those are the girls that have run the fastest this year so far. So I'm going to start with Wally because, as I said, Wally is a huge fan of Elaine Thompson. Based on all trajectory and with all things being equal, every athlete being fit, I want you to go in depth about the challenge between these athletes because, as I said, Shelly-Ann has put down her foot already. She's just basically saying, catch me if you can, and let's see how these girls do. And as I said, you're a big Elaine fan. Do you think that Elaine can actually upset Shelly at national trials?
All right. Greetings everyone. I have to be objective, and I would say no. And here is the reason why. Traditionally, Elaine's speed endurance would be a significant factor in helping her, especially when you look at the occasions where she has gotten the best of Shelly. She was able to get an okay start. We know that Shelly-Ann, being the pocket rocket, always has a fantastic start. She was able to have a reasonable start where Shelly's bullet start didn't put her at much of a deficit. And then what would happen now is that her speed endurance would enable her to pass her in the last 30 meters. However, when you look at ET's 200 meter events this year, you see that she really hasn't gotten a lot of 200s under her belt. So you know that would definitely impact her speed endurance. So I think that with Shelly's speed that she's at now, I think the gap would be too much for her to overcome. So I definitely have her for second. Look at ET's best time, and let me see, in the 200 meters is the 16th fastest in the world, 22:54, which for her pace is really pedestrian. And she wouldn't have that sort of pace is really showing that um the speed endurance that she would have normally had over the years won't necessarily be here this time around. So unless Frano is able to do something significant between Elaine's last outing and the trials, and you have a significant dip where Shelly is concerned in terms of her form, I would not be objective if I said that ET would beat Chile at the trials.
All
What
right.
is all right? Go
Quick
ahead.
thing though, Wally. If you look at it, could it be a case where Fana is actually holding Elaine back, knowingly that this is a man who is strategic and this is something he has proven over and over time and time again? Is it a case that he's just holding her back?
Um, the thing is that I don't think so, because it would be out of character it with respect to the number of 200s that ET has done, when you look at since she has burst on the scene until now. She would have run a lot more 200s up to this point. I think maybe her 200 outings has dipped significantly. I don't see Frano holding her back. No, I'm not doing that when she just came on the scene. So I really think it's just based on where she is now in terms of recovering from her injury, because she really had a very, very difficult time. So as a result of that, I think Frana really didn't want to push her into a very heavy workload of getting a lot of 200s and hundreds under her belt. And so as a result of that, I really think that, as I mentioned before, it will impact her speed endurance.
All right, so this is a good point that Akil actually brought up. You made mention of the 200-meter that she ran, right? That she ran the 22.5, but it was on the same day that she ran the 10.87 within less than an hour. She actually went back and run that 22.5. So I mean, if you look at it from that standpoint, there was workload in those legs. So Shakes being a doctor can further substantiate this point by saying that that if you just basically just competed in a sprint, that sprint you just have to just blast right out, and then you have to compete in the next event quickly afterwards. That lactic acid and all of those could actually build up in those legs. So if you look at it from that standpoint, I wouldn't say it's actually fair to judge that 22.5 on that basis. Shakes, this is where I'm going to let you chime in now and give your take on that.
Oh yeah, I agree with that point about the lactic acid that builds up. So if you ran 10.87 that day, it means that you're looking at that time dropping down to probably 0.25 in the 200, because if she never ran that 100, she would have been able to go much faster in that 200-meter race. Yeah. You want me to touch on Elaine overall also?
Yeah, man, the event itself, man, because I'm going to get your top 3 pick, because we're basically sticking the team to Tokyo,
Okay, no, I wasn't sure if you were asking Wally specifically about Elaine or the race overall.
Yeah, man, we're going right around the clock, man. Come on.
Oh, all right. So on Elaine, for me, earlier in the year, I said that the break would have done or should have done Elaine pretty good. I don't know why Wally calling her ET, because for me, she's OT, ordinary terrestrial. She's not any extraterrestrial runner anymore, because for me, she's the most disappointing runner right now. Because you can't be double Olympic sprint champion and you don't do nothing since then. Like, that for me just don't count.
But that contradict you right away. Shit.
No, that's why I said she moved from ET to OT.
Okay.
Yes. Right? So she has a big point to prove to get back to where she was, not necessarily as a double Olympic champion, but I'm pretty sure she would want one of the two gold medals to basically cement her legacy. Because we know that, listen, people win one-off Olympic titles, right? But guess what? She won two. So this now is basically her year to shine. I'm hoping that her Achilles has healed sufficiently. We haven't really seen the fastest times from her this year. I still don't expect her to beat Shelly-Ann because for me, Wally was talking about the speed endurance, but guess what? For me, the speed endurance not going to work against Shelly. You know why? Because I believe that Shelly has perfected her 100-meter race now. So she's even better at it. So whereas she used to just get the bullet start and then just hope to beat them at the end of the race, I believe that she can actually pick up during her race now. So she's going to be stronger over 80 meters rather than being strong over 60 meters. And that for me, she just going to blow them away at the Jamaican trials. I'm just going to put that out there. Shelly just going to blow them away.
All right, so call the top three.
Top three. I don't know what Stephen Francis has up his sleeve in putting Sherika Jackson, but listen, that man is a mad genius. I'm going to state that, right? And he learned from Dennis Johnson, who was another mad genius. God rest his soul. He died earlier in the year. So guess what? Don't be surprised if Sherika Jackson comes and upset that field and finish third. Yes.
Wow.
I'm just gonna state that.
Wow. But Shakes, you know that the producer is somewhat in agreement with it because he's saying that he can guarantee that based on what he has seen with that 11.02 that she ran earlier this season and knowing how Frana works, he says
Listen,
that Sherika is in 10-8 shape.
listen, Levon, as I said, you normally use a coach's pedigree in terms of the body of work that he has done. So over the years, we have seen this from multiple athletes that are under the supervision of Stephen Francis. There's no way he puts Jackson into that race if he doesn't know that she can't make it onto that podium.
True.
It just wouldn't make any sense.
Agree. Ryan, I'm now going to ask you this question because I've seen everybody and they're basically saying that the 1-2 is basically completed with Shelly and Elaine. Now, if there's someone that could actually upset this field, knowing that there's a possibility that both athletes might be trying to cancel out each other, knowing that they're not in the same camp anymore, so they don't have to take no advice from nobody, say, oh, this or that, and devil knows what. But with both of them now in two total different camps, and with Shelly, as I've been told, fully healed from that toe injury that has affected her over the years. I heard that it's no good, and it's been a while that she wanted to run this fast, and she was always told that, hey, hold back. But now that she's not taking any talk from, well, I mean, she does take instructions from Ronaldo Walcott, but with nobody basically in her ear saying that, hey, you need to do this or that. Do you think that somebody else in this field could actually upset both these athletes?
To upset both those athletes, no. I think the 1-2 is locked just like everybody else in this of Shelly and Elaine. I think where the upset may come in is for third. And I'm saying this against the backdrop of what the others have said. You know that you look at Sherika and she's locked in. She's basically locked in for a 400 medal if she runs a 400. And for Frana now to move her from there to put her to run the 100, you're wondering what he's thinking. So against that backdrop is the only reason why I would have her at third. But currently though, I have Natasha as the third runner, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sherika gets the third position. And to complete the relay team, I would have somebody else for 6. I don't know who else yet.
Okay. Chris, for majority of the season, a lot of people top 3 would have been Shelly, E.T., and Brianna. Now with Sherika now in the fold and Natasha has run some decent races, She's one that is, boy, you can't really count on her. When it matters most, Natasha doesn't really show. However, this time around, she has somewhat hit a purple patch and she has been running consistently under 11 seconds and right in range within 11 seconds. Brianna, who started the season slowly, she hasn't. She normally, as Wally pointed out, Wally says that Helene hasn't run much 200 and all of that. It's the same case that I can make for Brianna. Brianna normally run a lot of races right throughout the entire season on the circuit. On this occasion, she hasn't. Are we actually leaving her out of the top three? Chris, that's yours.
I guess you have to go with farm in track and field. You cannot predict what you don't see. So everyone, obviously, Brianna didn't run as many races and didn't look as fabulous as most of the athletes. So unless you know something that's going on in her camp, you can pick her to come in the top three. But it would be far fetched if she come in the top three. But with the Natasha Morrison case, remember she left the MVP track club and went elsewhere, and her career went sideways. Now she's back and running fast again. It was Stephen Francis who let her run 10:94 at an Olympic game, at a world. It was an Olympic or World Championship games. So I expect her to be in the top three. As for Iliad, as for the winner, it's obviously Shelly. I don't expect her to do anything fabulous. I think she's going to cover the field and just come home in her 100-meter race. But
All
I
right.
don't know. I cannot tell you that Ilian will do 2 events just because of this Sharika Jackson factor now. It's obvious that she won't the 2 events. That is the reason why Sharika is in this 100 and 200 meter. I'm telling you, if
Oh,
I know Stephen Francis, she's not going to do 2 events because of this
She who?
Achilles.
She who? She who?
She ET. She's
oh
not
wow.
going. Don't
Good call.
watch the entry. You can always watch entry. People enter and don't turn up. Don't watch the entry. Don't let entries fool you. Ilian Thompson Achilles injury is giving her a problem, and it's saying that, and people is saying that again. The fact that it's giving her a problem again, it makes no sense for her to run 2 events. And I don't think Stephen Francis will let you run 2 events, knowing that. So that
Chris,
is me personally
Chris,
thinking
pick up
Sharika
in though.
Jackson is only in it because he sees where she could replace a Ilian Thompson in one of those teams.
But all right, Chris, pick up in right there. Seeing? Going by your utterance, are you saying that he's going to let Elaine focus on the 200 meter or
Exactly.
the 100 meter? Which
Exactly.
one are you getting at? Because
I,
if
I
somebody
am
get that,
telling you, I don't know. That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, she's not going to double. That's what I'm promising her that she's
but
not going to
boss,
double. That's
No,
what
no,
I
but
am thinking.
no, but if I may, Sir Wos, Chris, the line of reasoning that you're coming with is not logical. If he's not going to double, then it would make sense for Frano. Going by that line of reasoning, it would make
Yeah.
sense for Frano to make Sharika do the 200 based on the form
Isn't
that
she
he's
entered
in.
entered into the 200 as well?
but you contradict your own self there, Chris, because
No,
you said that you watch the
Sharika
starting list
entered into the
because
1 and the
hold on, the
200.
boss. Hold on. All right.
But I just explained to
Both
you that you
athletes have
can
entered
enter
in the
into
one and
events, but you don't must turn up for the event. That's what I just said. Why
yes,
you
so I'm
keep on watching the entry?
but that you're going by the entry. That's what I said. No, if Sherika
I
isn't in the
am not
200
going by
meter,
the entry. I'm going by Sharika change of events. That's what I'm going by.
but
Sharika
Sherika is
change of
in the
Her,
events.
her,
Chris,
her entry into the 100
Chris,
meters.
Chris,
Yeah.
she's entered
Okay.
in the
Let me listen where
one,
you talk. I
two,
mean, I
and three.
understand. I don't
If you look
understand
at
what you Yeah.
but now Chris, Sherika has been entered in the 100, the 200, and the 400. She's not going to the 3 events. So obviously,
Exactly.
and then if you look at it logically
So
again,
if you're not going to do 3 events, why you cannot look at it like Ilya not going to do 2 either? Why are you thinking that because she enter she must do 2?
No,
That's what
that's
I'm
not
trying
what
to explain.
no, hold on, no, Chris. That is not what we're refuting, you know. You are saying that Sharika Jackson's entry into the 100 is the sign that Elaine is not going to double. That is what we're contesting.
I'm saying Sharika Jackson
Yeah,
into
I'm
the
trying to
100
understand that
and
myself.
200. I'm saying Sharika Jackson coming now to do 100 and 200 when, like most of you think that she could have got a medal in the 400. Tells me Ilian one of those 100 or 200 meter spot, Ilian will do one. That is what I am thinking. It don't mean it must go that way. I am saying that's how I think it's gonna go. If it go that way, what you gonna say? I don't have a reason to think it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a law that that's how it's gonna go. I'm saying because of how I know Stephen Francis think, I am saying one of those events, it's because he thinks that Ilian Achilles injury is gonna cause her, and it's better for her to focus on one event. That's all I'm saying.
All right, let me state this because Akil finally type it because that is what I wanted to say. There is no 200, 400 meter double that
No.
can be done because the time not going to permit it at the Olympics, right? So
Not
there's
going to
no way Sherika would be going to the Olympics with the hope to run the 200 and 400. She literally will be giving medals away if she tried to do that. Because the timing just not going to work. They actually hoped that they had sorted
change
out
the
the
schedule.
logistics, and they are not altering the logistics behind those races. So I'm glad Akil brought that up.
Explain the timing so people can understand who don't understand.
As in, basically, when you're running one of the races for the 200 meters, you would have another race for the 400 meters same day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't.
Too much workload. And
So the events are going to overlap. They had
yeah,
hope.
and Shakes, you remember Shani Miller Weber when she
Yes.
attempted the 2-4 and ended up crumbling.
Yeah. So they had hope that they had changed the logistics behind those two events just because of Miller Weber, because we know how good she is in both events. But the IOC decided that, guess what? No, we're not changing it. Anyway, as it pertains to what Chris is saying, I understand what Chris just said. Because guess what? If Elaine actually has an injury,
It's not an injury, it's just a niggling problem all the time. So I don't see why she will double with it.
Hold on. Once you have a niggle, it's called an injury in the medical world. Thank you, my boss. So once she is injured, it means that she's not 100% fit. Is it that Frano is thinking that, is it a possibility that she can break down? So Sherika might have a chance to sneak in if ET does not finish the race? That is what I get from it. If Elaine actually has a niggle, as Chris put it.
And by the way, Sherika Jackson did the 200 meter in high school, and that's where the surprise come from. She's winning that 200 meter once she run it at the trials. That's where the surprise come for me. That's for me personally. I think she's going to win the 200 meter at the trials.
Well, I don't discount that, but as I said, I know that it's not possible to run 2-4 at the Olympics.
Yeah, all I'm saying is if Sherika run the 200 at the trials, I am having her as the winner. That's all. Level.
Right.
I know you can't see. I know you can't see.
Wally, your top 3.
My top 3 is Shelley, E.T., and Natasha Morrison. People talking about Frano being a genius, and it is obvious that he sees medal potential in her. Well, let me not say medal, but sees her in contention for top 3, which is why he entered her in the 100. I don't necessarily see it that way. There have been occasions where I can't remember which major championship it was. He let Shelley do the 1-2 at the trials, but she only ran the 100 at the major championship. I'll have to do some research just
that was the Olympics.
Yeah, I remember that as well. But
I'm trying to remember which Olympics it was. But
I think it was 08 or 2012. I don't remember.
No, man. It was when Elaine was there.
So it would have been 2016 then.
Yeah, remember people were saying that he hid her from ET.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's 2015 or 2016.
That would have been 2016.
Yeah, it was 2016 when she ran 21.63. Yeah, when she ran 21.63, somewhere around there.
Right. So what that shows is that Frano will use the events to kind of gauge and fine tune certain attributes that they're working on in the background. If you look at Natasha Morrison's best time, she's actually fourth in the world. It's 10:87. Sherika Jackson's time is 11:02. She's 17th in the world. Now to make up that gap, and remember, these two persons are being coached by the same mad genius that we're lauding. For Sherika to make up that gap, it would really mean that Natasha would have to be pretty much standing still for Sherika to make up that gap in the time that has been allowed. So to me, the 1 to 3 is very easy, very straightforward. Shelley, E.T. and Natasha Morrison.
Wally, but you know, so I can counter that. What if it's a case where Sherika is actually beating up Natasha Morrison in training? Because I can tell this much. Tajay Gale has been beating all the MVP athletes in 100 meter this season. He has not been entered for the 100 meter. I can tell you that much. Even the youth that got injured for the 110 hurdles, I believe his name is Rashid Broadbell. Even him has been beating up the majority of the 100 meter sprinters in training. He hasn't been entered for the 100 meters. So, as I said, Frano could actually have something up his sleeve.
All right, could, but we can only go off the data that we have available to us, and we have seen with Shelley where he has allowed her to do 2 events at the trials, but only enter her for 1 event at the major championship. So that is a possibility, but based on what we have available to us, it would be more in line with him using the 100 meter to kind of sharpen up Sherika in terms of speed for the 4 and the 2.
For the 4 and the 2.
Sorry, for the 400. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. And the person in the background saying that just like when Shelley burst on the scene in 2008, we never have any background in front of her.
Thank you. Kelena, that man is a mad. That man is a mad genius.
And just to Wally West, I remember Ilian breaking on the scene because I saw her first, like she ran 11-1-0 at a college championship. And just like how you see Sherika Jackson look, that's what she reminds me of. The very next race she ran sub 10, beating Blessing Okonbari at the stadium. You cannot trust Stephen Francis. That's what that tells you.
Yeah, man, but remember, it's the same Stephen Francis coaching Natasha Morrison. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but guess what? It was the same Stephen that was coaching Sharon Simpson.
And what? I'm not.
Yeah, but Sharon Simpson would have been the pedigree runner at MVP at the time. Shelley came and beat all of them. Simple. Yep. So it's not impossible for Sherika to come and run 10-8 and Natasha run 10-9. Not impossible.
I don't see that happening. As I said, the gap between them is too wide for me to make up in such a short time, and they're both being coached by the same person. With Shelley was an unknown. With what was Shelley's times going into the championship compared to what Sharon was running. What we have in front of us is a clear gap in terms of the time of Natasha Morrison and Sherika Jackson. And I'm saying that the deficit is too big to make up based on the time available. 1 and 2, they're both being coached by the same coach.
I think Wally is looking at the fact that he thinks Natasha is going to PB and Sherika will run something like 10.9, high 10.9, which is why he's speaking about that. You know that Natasha can run 10.95 and Sherika can run 10.94. I don't really think there's a gap issue in that sense because she don't necessarily have to run 10.8 anything. That's Natasha. Even though I have Natasha for 3rd.
So guys, guess what's going to happen? This is all I'm going to say. Sherika going to come 3rd and give our spot to Natasha for the Olympics.
But Wally, Wally, I was just going to counter your point, because you've been lamenting on that 22.5 by Ilian, right? You said it. But I could say that the last time that Natasha ran, she ran what? 10.95, so the gap has closed. She has been regressing instead of progressing. I could just say that.
Sorry, go again. Dave?
I'm saying the last time that Natasha Morrison ran, she ran 10.95 on the same day that Shelley ran the 10.63. So she has come backwards
Hence my
instead of
point.
moving
Hence my point,
forward.
Levon. Hence my point.
And she
He's looking at.
always do this every season.
He's looking at while he's looking at Natasha's PB, which
Yep.
is why he's speaking about her gap.
Sherika Jackson is a championship caliber athlete. So never be surprised when that girl come out and run.
All right. So just like with the Super Bowl prediction, after the trials, Shakes will have egg on his face again.
All right, let's move on to something that is less fascinating. Over to the men. Boy. The best Jamaican this season has been Nigel Ellis. Then you have a man that I think should just follow VCB. Well, respect to VCB, she has retired from track and field. Legend, great athlete, stalwart for Jamaica. And I think this man should just follow suit and just gang up his spikes as well. I'm talking about none other than one, Ewan Blake. Then you have Devontae Burnett, a man who has been running on the collegiate circuit and declared himself for the Jamaica trials. Then you have Julian Fort, another one that is very disappointing. Whenever it matters most, he always get injured. Then we have the youngsters, Oblique Civil coming through, Andre Ewers, O'Shane Bailey, veteran, Taekwondo Tracy, another veteran, Michaela Ashmead. Any input? I'm going to start with Chris on this one.
So why?
Yeah, obviously nothing spectacular. We're not expecting to get any medals there, and I don't think we're expecting to get any finalists. If we get a finalist, that would be a major win for us in that 100-meter men, because of how we have regressed since you could say Bolt, and then since Ewan Blake picked up that injury, because obviously it's that injury that let him tailed off from what he was supposed to become. He was basically the next thing. He didn't disappoint Levon, so I'm not in no hurry to rush him off like you. He didn't disappoint when he was on top form. He basically run behind Bolt every time he was fit, and that was an achievement within itself, because you could say it's only Bolt was better than him at the time. He would hang on, he would hold off Tyson Gay, he will hold off Gatlin. So my respect for him is highly because of those stuff, Levon. And
Thank you, Chris.
Hurry, man.
Yes, wicked man.
Thank you, Chris.
And because the injury was so devastating to him, and he's still trying, I have time for him. And whenever he's ready, he's ready.
I'm trying to understand one thing, Shakes here in agreement, right? This is the same Shakes that beat Ilian just a while ago, so since that double Olympic goal, Ilian has done nothing. Since those performance by Ewan Blake, he hasn't done nothing,
Hold on. The big difference, Levon. Johan Blake had his muscle ripped off his bone. Basically changed his mechanics. Elaine Thompson developed an Achilles injury. She never tore her Achilles. She developed an Achilles injury and continued running on it just for money.
Oh, so that's what you're getting at.
That's the big difference. And when I say run for money, it means that, guess what? Instead of resting one of the years, as I said, this whole pandemic thing should have helped her, because you know that there wasn't much running last year. Yeah. But it's two different injuries, or two different mechanisms of injuries, right? So you can't compare the two, Levon. I'm sorry, you can't.
And just to add to Shakespeare's point, the reason why you can't compare it to was Johan Blake hasn't hit any farm and then disappoint us after. It's not that he run a 9-8 and then he just come back down and run something. Ilian would have hit some top farm while she had that injury and still disappoint. Ilian would have looked good in the semi-final at her last championship and looked
at the
so
World
good
Championship. Yes.
Yeah. And Shelly and a sick toe basically Did it?
Remember,
So
you know, at that
I
World
can understand
Championships,
Shake's points. I can
many, many,
understand Shake's
many
points.
actually had Elaine to win that race, you know.
She was a favorite.
Yes, many had Elaine to win that race, especially because we all know that Shelley had that toe injury, right? So Elaine still remained the favorite. And we
In the
know she ran
semi,
fourth.
no, she did not look good in this. I don't recall her looking good in the semi.
I wonder what they're talking about,
I
Ryan.
remember the World Championship. I
Well, World
started off
Championship.
with Elaine as the favorite to win the race, and when I saw the semi, I said, "No, this looks like
Shelly.
Shelly is going to win." I think she
Yep.
never had a good semi. My memory
All
serves me
right.
right.
Exactly. The false information they must spread, man.
Yeah,
On the
but
2019, Elaine was favorite for that World Championship.
At the start, not after the
Before the
semi-final.
races began.
Not
Before the
not
races
not after
began,
the semi-final.
but during this up to the semi, she was. I don't recall her being the favorite going into the final.
You know
she was.
what's funny? I remember on the Facebook page, I was probably the only person that said that Elaine wouldn't get a medal. I remember specifically on that Facebook page. Yes, and probably all Ryan was there and Wally was there and Chris was there. Everybody still had Elaine as favorite.
But Shakes, I mean, Shakes, you can take your props for that, but saying that she was
No,
still the
it's not
favorite
props.
after, hold on, Shakes, saying that she was favorite after seeing all those rounds leading up to the final, boss, you can't be, Shakes, you have to look at things
It's
logically.
not me, Levon said
No,
that
but
she was
Shakes, you
favorite.
that's what you just said,
Yeah.
Shakes. You said that up to that
No,
point.
no.
I
I
said
said
she
I
was.
had her to run fourth. Other persons had her to
Yeah,
win the
people
race.
other people
I
other
actually
too.
had Shelly to run 10-6-8 in that final. Other persons had Elaine to win the race. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, she never looked good.
All right.
If we're going to be honest though, Elaine did not look good in the semi. If we're talking about 2019,
Yeah.
me and I don't recall her. I don't recall 2017. She looking good either. If my memory serves me right.
Let's move on because the guys are going back to the women.
Yeah,
Well, I guess there's something to
we're
talk
at the
about.
men. So basically, Levon, that's going to be a disappointing scene at at the national championships because obviously we don't have no one that can give unless someone pop up and give us a surprise. I would love that.
Guys,
I
Blake
and I
will run
think
990. Wanna stop it.
and I think everyone will love that. But I guess it
Not
should be.
everyone.
I guess it should be Johan Blake championship. It should be his title.
Yeah, 990. You don't think that can get him a medal at the Olympics, Levon?
Absolutely not.
He won't be able to run that after rounds at the Olympics. That's the problem,
Won't.
shit.
Won't. But Wally, I know you're ready to go because, as I said, you and Blake's lawyer, and as I said, and I won't retract my statement. That man need to just take in spikes and go and get up. No, over to you.
All right. So what I find interesting is that if you're going to make that statement about Blake, then we should just retire the men's 100 meter because he is our best project. He's our best prospect. He is our best prospect to at least make the finals.
Make which final?
Go again.
Make which final?
Olympic
100
final.
meter final.
What's wrong with you,
The
Levon?
National
national
chess team,
trials?
right?
Are the
100
trials?
the
No.
100 meter final in Tokyo is
Olympics.
our best
Olympics
prospect.
I'm talking about.
Our best project.
Oh,
I see him so the
hold
last
on,
time I
Wally.
see the man not even make
Hold
semis,
on,
you know.
Wally.
See him so the
hold on,
same.
Wally. He's actually. So you're telling me that he's actually going to go to the plane to Tokyo?
Yes.
Of course.
Oh.
Of course.
No.
But why wouldn't he?
I believe.
Why
I believe
wouldn't he, Levon?
he can
Huh?
make the plane because the field is so poor.
Yeah, why
He
wouldn't
can
he?
make the plane.
Why wouldn't he?
Yes.
I'm just going to pick up on something that Chris just said. You see, when he goes through those rounds, he won't run any sub 10. He'll run 10 point something and he won't make it.
So,
No,
so,
he
so,
will. He can make it, because who
so
else
how
is
many
there?
Alright,
people?
so, so,
I
so
don't
How
have
Foot,
many
you can see
people
that the
really
whole
gonna beat
team
him?
very biased.
He
No
will make it
objectivity.
low level, man.
We don't have
At
a
the
field
trials.
level one.
No man. Ryan
Listen,
and Levon, tell us who will
listen.
beat him.
The top three at trials will be Nigel Ellis, Devontae Burnett, and Oblique Civil.
You're a madman. You're a madman.
No,
Interesting, man.
you can
You're
make the
a
top three.
mad in a clean clothes.
You just don't like Johan Levon.
That's about it.
Exactly.
Straight bias.
It's
We don't
that
have
biased.
a.
I just speak the truth. I'm not going to be sticking up here with blind faith like Wally. I don't work off that one.
So it
Wally
is
still
blind.
Wally still has it in his head that Yuan can still go on to medal. No, won't happen.
No,
I say Wally living in
but there is
2011.
nothing. But there is nothing I've said here that implies that. What I
No,
have
you're not.
said.
Wally, you haven't said it here, but I've seen you. Remember, it's a long time I got at it in about Blake. Probably about 3 years now. So remember, it's a long time this a come from.
Yeah, man, and I said he would make the finals. You said he would be lucky to make the semis, and he did make the finals.
Exactly.
But what did he do?
We
It
didn't
don't
have
matter
that
what you
discussion.
do.
We never had a discussion to say he would medal. The discussion
Levon,
was
listen,
whether or not he would make the final.
overall in the 100 meters from men, right around the world, is a poor field. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
it
say
is.
that.
No,
It
don't
is.
say that.
No,
is.
not around the world.
Don't
It
say that
is.
shit.
Chris,
The
Hold
US,
on,
come
the,
on,
U-
Chris.
hold on,
the,
hold
the
on,
US,
hold
the
on,
US
hold
have
on,
three good,
Shakes is
three
correct.
solid runners.
hold on, Chris.
Shakes is correct.
Chris, be honest. Do you have 6 top 100-meter runners right now in the world?
All right, so you're going to have to define what you call top
Hold
and what you
on.
call
Let me ask it another way. You remember when we had that Olympic race with Bolt running the 10.64, Blake running 10.75, I think it was, and I think everybody run
You
sorry
mean
9.99. Sorry, and I think the entire field ran sub 10 or sub
Yes.
9.9, something like
Except
that.
Asafa, who pulled up.
Except us, yeah.
All
Do we have such a field now across the
No.
world that can do that?
All right,
No,
so
but that's a
There you go.
that's a poor
Right now,
point.
9.8. That's not a poor point. Right now,
You
9.8
use
can win
the
a gold medal.
Please,
You-
one at a time.
9.8. Hold on, now, let me just finish this. 9.8 can
One
get
at
you
a
a gold
time so you
medal.
can bring across the point clearly because the mumbling and jumbling won't work. So one at
Okay,
a time.
let me just finish this point. 9.8 right now can get you a gold medal. A few years ago, a few cycles ago, that couldn't even get you on the podium. So how is it a poor point?
But you're using the greatest sprinting
No,
part
I use the entire field.
That's what
I
you're
use an
using
entire
the
field.
greatest cycle for sprinting. What
I use
about
an
the
entire
Bolt
field.
era?
I
You're using
use
the
an
greatest
entire
sprint cycle.
field.
No,
I use an
you're
entire
using the
field.
greatest. You're using the best cycle of 100-meter sprinting to dictate what's gonna up, how poor this is. You can't
But
do that.
doesn't exactly. But what doesn't that prove the point?
Thank
No,
you,
No,
Anthony
because
Butler.
that doesn't
five,
prove the,
if the top five at the Olympics can run under 10 seconds, that would be great too.
All right, so let me just state this,
all
Chris.
8 runners to run under 10 seconds.
No,
okay,
let me
cool.
state this, Chris. Let me state this. So over the years, before Usain Bolt, 9.82, 9.81, 9.84 used to get your titles, right? I don't believe that you can find 6 good runners that could really challenge and run 9.85 in a race. Now, if you only have 1 or 2 people that can actually go at 9.85, that's not a competitive field. Hold on. There is a difference between participating in a race and actually competing in a race. Asafa Powell has always participated in 100-meter races, bar the 2009 World Championships when he actually ran 9.84, I believe, in coming third behind Usain and Tyson Gay.
09.
Yeah, that's what I said. 2009, yes. Because that for me is the greatest race in the history of mankind, right? So the date I won't forget. right? Berlin. Yes, that blue truck. Thank you.
In Germany.
In Germany. All right. So yes, you can't have a race with participants where they're running 10 flat or 1095 and call that competitive. No, that's not.
995, you mean?
Yeah, 995. That's not a competitive 100-meter men's race. No, that's actually closer to a women's race
You're
than.
using the times. You're using the
Yeah,
times to judge.
but it has to be the times. It can't be anything other than time. It is
All
the
But the
right.
time that has
condition, but
defined the. Hold on,
the
Chris.
condition
It is
contribute
the
to time.
time.
The
No,
condition
hold on.
contribute to time shapes.
It is the time that has defined the 100-meter sprint event in the history of mankind.
Right. So,
It is
Shakes,
men running
Shakes,
against
can
the
I find
clock.
out one thing? You know that, to be honest, I can't remember when last a men's athlete run sub 9.7. I can't tell when last an athlete did that.
You're going so
The,
far,
the man,
9.8, sub
the man who,
9.8.
9.8, I believe, is Brummel. Him
no,
alone.
man, no, man. I'm talking probably over the last 3 years or thereabouts. The man that has come the closest, is Christian Coleman, who is currently banned. I remember, I
Yep.
think he ran 9.71 or 9.72 thereabouts. Since then, it's Brummel who has been the fastest. Brummel has run 9.75 this year, I think.
But nobody has run 966 the last 10 years.
Since the last 10 years?
Since Olympics bowl.
Say here that. Since the last 10 years, nobody has run 9.6.
Nobody has. Since
But
20.
no,
What?
but Levon, we don't even need 9.6,
We
For
didn't go
me,
so far. We're talking about 9.7.
9.8 has
I know.
always been the standard,
Yep.
bar Usain Bolt and Tyson Gay. And listen, even in his pump,
You're on.
Justin Gatlin never go faster than 9.97, I mean 9.90, 9.79,
970.
9.79.
No, him
When he ran,
974. His
no
personal
man,
best is
no man,
974.
no man, 9.79. He ran at the Olympics third behind Johan and Usain.
You're saying Justin Gatlin personal best is
No.
979?
In the championship with Usain
Okay.
and Blake, he ran 9.79.
And that come down to me and Wally point. You're using the greatest sprinters in history to judge
But,
what's happening right now.
Chris, I am
That's
saying that
not
I
fair.
don't need
Pretend it's not so.
9.79. I just need
That
9.85, and you don't,
but that is
you cannot
unfair
tell me
shit.
3 athletes that can give me 9.85 in the race. Give me 3
That,
athletes that can give me 9.85.
Shakes, that is unfair.
How is
Because
it unfair?
you just tell us that not even Gatlin, who is one of the greatest sprinters, cannot do it consistently, but you expect it to happen.
Boss,
No.
Gatlin won in 9.81 for his
You know,
Olympic title. He ran
Shakes, you know what they call that?
9.79 for third.
Shakes,
He has
you know why?
always dropped below 9.85. Always. What I'm saying
Shakes,
is
you
you
know,
don't have 3 runners that can drop below 9.85 right now, and that is a problem.
Chris,
That
you know
means
what
the
they call
field is
that?
not as competitive.
Yeah, what they call that?
You know what?
All right, sorry, I seem to chip out. Chris, what you're not getting is that even a man who finished second at the US trials, right? Ronnie Baker,
Ronnie Baker.
he PB'd in that racing, and his PB now stands at what, 9.85? So if you look
Exactly.
overall, I think, and I believe, if memory serves me right, he's the second fastest in the world at this moment.
Yeah,
So if you
should
look
be.
at,
So you're not guaranteed to get the runners running sub 9.85. Yeah. So that is not highly competitive. Yes, the
all right,
race might look competitive, but the 100-meter race
Shakes,
is always about time.
all right. So
Shakes.
what? Give Wally a chance now.
Where's Wally?
What is screen blank?
Yeah. Let Ryan finish up his point.
Yeah, I was saying
Wally,
they call that
carry
a
on, Wally.
drop off. So you can't say a drop off is not a drop off. If it is that others were doing that and they are not doing it anymore, it is say that the level fallen off.
Yes, Wally.
Chris, it's just reality. You have to accept it, right? The level has dropped. Just be honest. The level has dropped, and there's no
I would
shame
be a
in that.
fool. I would be a fool to be arguing with that, Shakes. I just say they're
Yeah.
using the greatest period of sprinting
No,
to,
I'm
to
not.
say this is not competitive.
That's why I went back to the 985
So, Chris,
before Bolt's
you keep on.
era.
All right, hold on. Chris, the producer is saying, say I should ask you this question. Which period would you point out as the greatest period of sprinting?
What? Give me the year,
Or
Chris.
give
Which
give
year?
him the year, the specific year.
You say the greatest year.
This, no, no, most the year when everybody around under 10 seconds, brother, in a
The
race.
year.
The
What
year.
was
What?
it? 2000,
What
year
year did it
2000,
start? When the period starts? Because if
No,
you're going to
sprinting
argue that,
ever since Usain step up and challenge Tyson, I think sprinting was in a great era because you had Asafa Powell and you had other great sprinters from Trinidad and Kim Collins and all of them. So it
08,
was
or 08 to
competitive. And you had Johan Blake, you have Nesta Carter, you had some people running around being competitive.
all right,
08 to
Chris,
Ever
all right.
20.
since 2007,
All right, guys, hold
2008,
on. The
sprinting
producer
was
want to get in a point, man.
sprinting
Chris,
was
he's
good.
going to respond to you.
All right, Chris. The reason why I asked, right? Because if you compare the era before that greatest period that you speak about, right? Then this
Mhm.
era has also fallen off. Because in 2004 Olympics, before Bolt, Blake, Tyson, Nesta Carter, right? In 2004 Olympics, we had 6 men in the 100-meter finals running under 10 seconds.
But we
Yeah.
don't know if that's going to happen now. That's the point. We're talking like it's not going to happen now. I already know. So we know that's not going to happen. Let me
You know
know
the
so I
big, you know
can.
the big difference.
I'm a
You see,
betting guy. So
But
let me
Chris,
know if it's not
we
going
had
to
five
happen.
persons. All right, listen to this. We had 5 persons in 2004 Olympics 100-meter finals, right? Before
Yeah.
the greatest period of all times, running 980s in the finals of the 100-meter. Are we guaranteed to see that this Olympics? Five
No,
five men
but
in 9.8.
may I try to get the point? What if the conditions are not right to run that? Why we keep dwelling on time? Shelly can win the trials and run level something because of conditions. Why we keep dwelling on time?
that
Conditions
won't
affect
happen.
everybody.
That won't happen.
But
You know
Chris,
that.
you know that's basically a non-point because you're going to tell me
That
that
won't
on
happen.
every occasion that they run,
Yeah.
right? The conditions are not suitable for sprinting. Come on.
Exactly.
Well,
All right, Chris, this is what they're going to say based on the stats that I'm seeing, right?
touching at
The 100
strong.
meter, this 100
Can
meter
I tell
field,
you?
the worst 100 meter field since 2000. And that's like 21 years now. Based on the stats I'm seeing.
Listen, one of the worst Olympic fields was actually the 2004 Olympics. I will state that. A race that Asafa Poya should have won. Francis Obiquelo, Justin Gatlin, Maurice Green, Kim Collins. Come on. That was one of the worst fields ever. But guess what? At that time, it used to be the Grand Prix circuit, right? I don't remember the actual name, but it was Grand Prix before them changed the name over, right? But at that time, you could actually see that they were running the sub 10s, right? Remember, it's that during that period, Asafa got sub 10 king, because he kept on running sub 10 and you actually had other runners running sub 10. But in this day and age, I move past Bolt. In this day and age now, today, I'm not seeing people running sub 10 like that. You struggle to see a male running sub 10 nowadays. So it has to be that it drop off big time.
I
Not
mean,
as
the mere
competitive
fact that
as
Johan is likely to make the Olympics shows that there's
Thank
a
you.
clear drop off.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you.
But and I
But
also
All right.
Shakes and Ryan.
Hold on, man. Because
Wally,
when
me
I
I gonna make you
talk,
go through, Me I make you go through Wally. But what me I gonna say to Chris per se, I could also point out that this generation should have been better. And the reason being, with the advent of technology and people looking at key aspects of race more and more,
thank
it
you.
goes to show that people should actually be running faster. Even with them saying that some of these spikes now and all of that, some of these boats are actually helps athletes to run faster. Then we should be seeing more guys running. But
That's true.
beside the point, Wally, go through now.
But that's not the point.
all right. So the initial point that was made, the initial statement that Chris and I was rebutting, and they kind of carry him off he's trying to make. The initial statement by Shakes was that sprinting now is poor, right? That was his statement,
Men's.
There's a men's, right? There's a difference, and then now you went on to substantiate that by saying that there is a decline. The two things are not one and the same. Lionel Messi's play has been since peak, but no one would display a sport. You're using the standard of 9-8. You're using the standard of 9-8. Look at the history of track and field. How many participants in the final has been consistently running 9-8 over the years outside of Bolt's era? What we're
Wally,
in is the
Wally,
Many.
that is also a non-point, because
Many.
Wally, it could be said that Messi stats has fallen off big time because he has been surrounded by
Age.
more players and he's
And
aging.
age. And
We are
age.
talking about
yeah, man,
young
but
people who are
but nobody would describe his play as poor. That's the point. He has
But we're talking about
declined.
an entire field.
But it's not
Wally.
all or nothing. So once
Talking
Wally.
about
that
an entire field.
entire field, that's what Ryan is saying. A field,
Wally.
we're talking about a one man.
You're
Wally,
separating an
if the
entire field.
women. Go ahead,
Shakes, go
Ryan.
ahead.
No, I mean I'm just saying Wally's separating the point. We were talking about an entire field. You are now separating it to speak about an individual.
One
no,
man.
I was just making the overall point on principle that you cannot equate a decline as the same thing as the field being poor. That is the point that I'm making.
Wally, let me just do the message.
So once there's a decline in performance, it is categorized as poor.
Yes, Wally, you can.
It's not all or nothing.
Wally.
No, but it's
Wally,
not all or nothing. That's the point that
All right, Wally, let me
Wally,
put it on
There is a reason.
Guys,
let me just put it on next way to substantiate the point here. If you have a company, right, your company start have growth and you grow to make 100 million as your highest point, right? And now you drop to 60 or 10 million for the corresponding years. That's not a decline, that fall off. That's not
but that's not what we're
poor.
arguing.
That's not poor. No, it's the
because
same,
you make a profit of $60 million.
Wally,
No, because you make a profit,
You've
you're
made a
good.
profit of $60 million.
Wally.
That is not poor.
Wally.
So the fact that you make a profit
Wally.
doesn't mean means you're good. Okay.
Wally.
I don't want you running my.
Wally.
I didn't say that. I said it doesn't mean you're poor. I said
Wally.
it doesn't mean you're poor. So you would be the executive that would fire the people who, when you make a $60 million profit, I wouldn't want a hot head like you running my company. Because you
Wally.
don't contextualize
of course,
things.
because that means
You
that
don't
I'm sure
contextualize
I don't want
things.
Wally, you know what it means? It means that I am a person that believes that I should be maintained at a particular level. I'm not going to accept mediocrity. That's
Thank
what
you, Leon.
No,
Wally, slow down. Understand this point. Back in 2008, what time was Bolt running?
968, 960s.
All right, he ran 972, and then he went to the Olympics and ran 969. In 2012, what did he run at the Olympics?
I think 963.
Thank you, Ryan. Yes, the Olympic record. When he went to the World Championship, and then when he went to the last Olympics, what time did he run?
9 off.
9 off?
79,
You sure?
7981, something like that.
9.9.
He ran 971.
The last World Championship.
He ran
9.81.
No. Last Olympics.
9.81. Was it 9.81?
No,
He ran
9.79.
9.7. He ran 9.7, right? At the Olympics, he ran 9.7.
Oh, where is
So
he running
that-
9.81?
So that was when he came third in the race. That is somebody that is declining, Wally. At his peak, But
What
Wally,
I'm saying to you, hold on now.
if the
Listen,
time, Wally,
hold on.
hold on, slow down, Wally. If the time decreases for an athlete solely because of age, if these athletes are in their prime and they are in their peak or entering their peak, and with all the advances, if the women can be running faster, why on God's earth shouldn't the men be running competitive
No,
times also?
all right, but you're making a point that I'm not making. What I'm saying to you is that it is not all or nothing. You cannot say because there's a decline, then the standard is poor. That is all I'm saying. You have to look at the degree of the decline. What was the standard? If you were to say using real figures, if you were to say the standard was prior to Bolt, because we're going to treat Bolt error as an anomaly, right? So let us get that out of the subset of data.
The producer said
If,
it, Wally. The producer said it.
go
The
again.
producer said it is the worst time in 20
Producer
years.
said it long time,
I said
man.
in
Thank you.
2004,
I don't know what Wally is
Allow
trying
me
to argue.
just listen to the point, no man. Just listen to the point. What I'm saying is that if you take out Bolt's error, which is an anomaly, good, you look at what the standard time is, right? So let us say the standard time is 9:08. Good.
9:08.
No, hold on, no. If this is the worst period, what you have to look at is to say what is the difference, what is the gap in time difference that you would have to classify the field as poor. If you have a tenth of a second difference and you don't classify that poor, then the fact that you have a decline of a tenth of a second, you can't classify it as poor. You have to define what time difference demarcates the standard being poor.
So,
You can't be
Wally,
nobody's arguing that there's not a decline.
the
We're
fact
saying
that
Ryan,
the
stick up in Ryan before we
decline
get
is
because
here.
I'm going to use Wally's
You
own
can't
point
classify
time.
that as poor.
Wally, I'm going to use your own point and tie you up. You know why?
Mhm.
Earlier you said that Sherika Jackson being at 11.02, the gap between she and Natasha Morrison, it's basically hard to catch on to, right? So
Right.
look at it now. If we're looking at it logically, right, and you just can basically count on your hand, one hand, not even two, one hand, the amount of athletes that is running sub 9.9. Do you think that those guys?
Yes, just to substantiate your point, Levon. So I literally just Googled back because remember I told you that Francis Obiquela, Maurice Green, Sean Crawford, Asafa. Listen, they ran 985, 986, and 987, 100th of a second between first, second, and third. And then Sean Crawford came fourth in 9.89. That's a competitive race, Wally. I asked you earlier, can you give me 6 runners, or not even 6, give me 4 runners that you believe can run sub 9.9?
All right, so Shakes, here's Shaki just reiterating our points. Here's Shaki saying that it's not poor based on just time. The amount of competition out there is just as bad.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Shaki.
producer, just do something for me. Producer, just do something for me. Tell me what the average times was at its peak, the average time prior to the
9.8.
peak,
We tell
the
you that
average
Wally,
time prior to the
9.8.
peak, and the average time now. And tell me
9.8.
the time difference between the three.
But Wally,
9.8.
you got that 9.8.
Wally, before the peak.
Wally, it was said, it was said, the producer said that this is the worst period for time compete over the last 20 years. He went as far back as 2 decades ago. Your time is supposed to be.
That's the point.
Hold on, man. Your time. Listen to me, man. Your time is supposed to be improving. It's over 2 decades. We have regressed. If your time now is not as good as it was 2 decades ago, what do you call that if not a decline?
But Ryan,
I remember.
Hold on. But Ryan, you keep harping on decline. At no point did I say there was no decline.
What so why we arguing here then?
The field is just poor, Wally.
Because you're saying that this era is poor, and I'm saying to determine that. And I am saying
you're hanging on to one word, Wally.
And
Yeah,
I'm saying
in
to
here,
no, but that's what the debate is about. I'm saying to
All right.
determine that
All right, listen, listen,
you
listen,
have
listen.
to look
We'll
at
settle
the
this. We'll
difference
settle
in
this
time
debate.
between
we're
now
having a
and
ridiculous
before.
conversation, then, man.
All right, just listen. This debate will be settled when the Olympics come. When the Olympics come, we're going to see the time that they run, and then we'll decide on that. Seeing? But as far as I'm concerned, Wally, and I mentioned a point that you keep on forgetting. Back in what 2004, it was 9.8 and all of that. Since then, as I mentioned again, technology has improved so much. So if technology has improved that much, that means that athletes shouldn't be running the time that they were running back in 2004.
Thank you.
Simple as that.
So it's technology why Bolt was so fast.
Boss, you
Yes,
really don't.
yes,
Chris,
Okay.
yes, it
But that's a, me
contributes.
a,
Chris,
Yeah.
no, me a,
Chris.
una
So
the
let me just
scientist.
state
I
the
wanna know why
scientific.
Bolt was so fast. So me ask you,
Yes,
me
Chris.
ask you.
It helps.
Yes,
Hold
When
Chris.
on,
Johan did that,
Chris.
when Johan Blake did that in peak, and that make him it so fast, technology. But
Chris,
me
Yes, it
agree
But
with
yes,
contributes.
you.
it helps,
It
Chris.
helps.
This
Agree with
guy
you.
helps, Chris.
Yes,
Chris, let me just state
Because Chris,
this.
let us say
If
this to
Bolt
Chris
was
one second.
born, if Bolt was born back in the 1960s, he wouldn't have run 9.58. That wouldn't be the world record today.
And also,
And you
Chris,
can't
let me say
argue
this,
that.
yes, right?
You
And when
can't argue that.
when am I gonna die, Shakes? As
Producer,
you
come
know
on.
all of that. You know
All right.
if Bolt did.
I think
Alright,
we
You
get
know
we're
that.
having
You
some
no can
ridiculous
tell me anything,
conversations
man.
now.
So
We
hold
have
so
some
on.
ridiculous.
So why is it? So Chris,
How you know?
why is it
How
that they
can you
plot
come out and me not gonna make it a debate? Because that
times?
doesn't make no sense here.
alright,
So
No,
we're
Chris.
not
no,
going to make it a debate. You
no, no,
Alright,
no.
cannot
But
tell me that
why is
you
it?
know
Why
what
is it?
time was going to run when Bolt did born.
You are
Whether I did born 20 years ago
Oh my
All
God.
right,
or
so Chris,
20
the
years
producer is
later.
actually making a point to you. So, producer, go on ahead.
Alright, Chris. Alright, to substantiate, I'm going to make 2 points. To substantiate Shake's points, over the last 100 years, men have actually run faster each decade. So that's number 1.
Historical
Number
data.
2, right? Since Shelley and Fraser around the 10.63 some weeks ago, right? There calls for some investigation into the Nike spike, which is said by some coaches
That it takes off 10 seconds of your
right.
original time. That is
And
what
that
they're
was
saying.
on
You know.
a BBC documentary. So they are calling for investigation into the Nike spike. There's some
So
scandal surrounding it.
it goes back to one thing that I mentioned.
Technology.
Technology does help, boss.
Levon, let me just state this lastly. Even in one of the best events, swimming at the Olympics,
Right.
the times have improved drastically because of the suits. I know that man like Chris don't watch swimming. I do.
Surely need a Puma spikes. That's all I would say to you guys.
All right, let's move on. Another event that has some level of interest and I expect to be interesting is the women's 100-meter hurdles. We'll see Brittany Anderson was a standout at there and all of that, and I have a lot of time for this athlete. She'll be going up against Danielle Williams, we know her as aunts, Akira Nugent, Shimara Williams. Josh will be proud of this athlete, formerly of Manchester, Dazzy Freeman, but she has nowhere going. Megan Tapper, Rosalie Cooper, and Trishana Hemmings. But the real race will be between Brittany Anderson, Daniel Williams, and to a lesser extent, Akira Nugent.
Where
Have you
is
guys following this?
where is Johnny Brown in that? She had to run. No.
You really mentioned Janet Brown. Janet Brown has been off form totally, but since that season there a couple years ago, she hasn't been. Producer, stay out of this, man. Man, just shut up. But Manchester has produced the only school to produce what? 3 Olympic gold medals in the last Olympics. Shut up, man. Go on side.
Elaine and Omar.
But with this event, how do you guys see this one going? I'm starting with Wally because Wally has been a lonely soul up there. Seems bored.
Go again.
I'm saying you seems bored up there, man. You're just in a corner by yourself.
No man. Me taking walk on, man. I not sure. I'm not sure what to call this one, honestly. I mean, Brianna,
Brittany.
Brittany, sorry. Seems to be the quote unquote name athlete, but I really, based on the performances over the season, I really can't say there's any standout winner for this event, honestly.
Yeah, and It's a good thing that I point out that, because when it comes down to hurdles, if any event over obstacles, that there are always going to be some controversy, because that is one thing that I can't necessarily say as a definitive answer, say, oh, this person will actually win, because many a times we have seen favorites gone down just because they make a bad step, hit a hurdle, and that's it. But Shakes, do you think that Daniel Williams, the pedigree athlete in this field, will actually get the better of the youngster who is just bursting onto the scene doing well?
I'm going to go with Daniel, followed by Brittany. The others, it's a toss up for the others.
Chris.
Yeah, got normally when they come back from college, they come back a little burnout. So got to go with Daniel, who's more fresher and with experience. That's something to prove actually at these trials. She had a big thing the last championship, and I think she know that she need to get it done, and has work to do because she has the potential to medal at the Olympics.
Okay, so your top three will be?
Uh, I suspect that Daniel will win, and I'm taking the upset for Janet Brown to come somewhere in that top three.
But
And
I'm not seeing her on the starting list.
she's not on the starting list.
No, I'm not seeing her.
Yeah, read the starting list.
All right, so the starting list is Brittany Anderson, Daniel Williams, Akira Nugent, Shamara Williams, Dazay Freeman, Megan Tapper, Rosalie Cooper, Trishana Emmings, Janine Williams, Kimisha Chambers, Yannick Thompson, Mulern Jean, Demisha Roswell, Rochelle Burton, Shermaine Williams, Shanette Allison, and the athlete who was regressed totally, and I think she's another one that should hang up her spikes, Melanie Walker.
Something is wrong with Reward, you know.
No,
Anyhow,
this is
yeah,
the truth, man.
So Williams then, and anybody else.
Janine Williams.
All right, so
Let's just roll
I'm
with
going to
that.
call it. I'm going to call it. So the top three will be Akira Nugent, nothing in a specific order. So Akira Nugent, Brittany Anderson, and Daniel Williams.
Okay, you're just playing
Those
it
are
safe.
being the three from athlete this season for me. You want me to call it? All right, Brittany Anderson to win.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. Brave call.
Is there any other event that actually intrigued you guys? Because boy,
The 110 hurdles, no.
the men's 400 meter. Omar will win that if you look at it, because Brad Bell is actually out with an injury, so he has gotten a medical exemption.
Ansel still around?
So the clash that would have. Go again?
Ansel still around?
Ansel still around.
Yeah, man, he's still around, man. So you want me to list out the field?
Yeah.
Because it's actually a stuck field somewhat. So you have Omar McLeod. Rashid was supposed to be there, but as I said, he got a medical exemption. Then you have Damian Thomas, who has been running on the circuit, the collegiate circuit, throughout the entire season. Ronald Levy falling off. Orlando Bennett slowly coming through. Philip Lemonius, here, thereabouts. Ansel Parchment, Andrew Riley, Gianna Roberts, Odaria Phillips, LaFrance Campbell, Norman Peters Gill, Jordan Woodley, Tyler Mason, and Joel Bryan. Boss, why you mention O'Hara? O'Hara has nowhere going.
He's there?
No, he's not there.
Okay. He entered
So-
into the 100.
I didn't see his name because that 100 meter field is very long, you know. But based on that,
Long for no reason.
who would you actually choose out of those three?
You going with
Chris?
me? Oh,
Yeah.
Omar to win, Ansel to come second, and I think there's a toss up between Thomas and Lemonis for that third spot.
Okay, so I just checked through the 100 meter field and I'm not seeing the name Michael O'Hara.
So where is he?
Huh?
Where's Michael Owen?
I have to run some check, man, but Michael O'Hara has fallen now, so not much interest right there.
He's comeback season.
This will be his comeback season.
That's what I heard.
Okay. Any other event that intrigue you guys?
Not really.
Men
Well,
400.
so you're telling me- Huh?
The men 400. I think we should have a decent showing in that.
Yeah, but if you have Sean Bailey as the fastest man this year, and Sean Bailey is basically an average athlete, I mean,
You have Christopher Taylor entering.
yeah, man. You know that I saw him. Was it yesterday? I saw him in person yesterday, and I was having a conversation with him. You know.
Yeah.
Same, yeah, man. They in a good form, man. Expect say I can win it.
Mm.
So yeah, let's see how that goes. It's based on my observation. I think this will be his race to win because all the other athletes have been out of sorts. If you look at Demish Gay, Nathan Allen, all those guys. So
Chris Taylor is what now? About 22.
yeah, about 21, 22.
Okay, I need to come up now. This is the time.
He will. But let's jump over from track and field because, as I said, there's not much left to really discuss and touch some football. So today, man, I mean, I wish I could just watch Group F all over again. It's the first time I've seen a group of that actually live up
Live up to the name.
to the
Yeah.
expectations. And as I said to some people earlier on, yes, I'm a German fan. Yes, there are a lot of French fans, and yes, there are Portuguese fans. But the best team in this group, in my estimation, was Hungary. Otherwise, some that blip that they had at the end against Portugal, they put up a stout showing right through the entirety of the tournament. And for this, I just shut up. Nobody talking to you. But if you look at them, right, and you look at all the matches today, right throughout the entirety of this group, it was lone entertainment. They prove it over and over again that even when they think that a team is actually out, here they come back again. And the thing is that a lot of people said that Germany wouldn't actually make it out of the group. Some said that they would have finished third, but guess what? I finished second.
Second.
I'm not going to say who I'm going to face because I'm going to reserve that for a discussion on Friday. But let's talk about the two games today. First up, we saw Spain beating upon arguably the worst team in the tournament in Slovakia, getting a 5-0 victory. I'm sure that the man from Africa that is a bad slave run over to Spain have something to say about that. So, Chris.
Nicky Williams' brother. Talk up.
Oh, it's always, oh boy, it was painful because you still have Morata, you still have to be working with Morata. But the victory was good for Spain, obviously. Obviously, happy to qualify to the next round. But Morata was just, he's a lucky fella. He was just born the right place. Had he born in Jamaica, he would be playing Super League or something. Anyhow, but Spain did well. Spain did well to ensure that they qualified, especially since they blundered against Poland. Ensure that they qualified out of the group. They qualified in second. So I think that was expected of them. Nothing much from here on, I guess.
So we're satisfied by how you guys played today. Did you see any difference today vis-a-vis what you have seen over the last two matches?
No, because Morata again, that's where we lock. That's where Morata has the finish chances. That's where we lock in a lot of stuff. Morata don't finish, and even because what happened was Gerard Moreno missed a penalty against Poland, so now they went to Morata, and it was worse. So that's a big problem for Spain up front. So
Okay.
I guess, like I said, they play the worst team, so you cannot take much from it.
All right.
They were the worst team in the tournament.
Is
Yeah.
Levan labeled them that.
But they are the worst.
Slovakia,
team.
Slovakia?
they're one of the
who's
worst
worse
teams in
than
the
them?
tournament. Not Macedonia.
I wouldn't call them the worst team at the Euro.
One
No,
off.
they were solid. They weren't that
Shakes. Listen
bad.
again, the Shakes. Listen to my statement. I said one of the worst teams.
Oh, okay. I heard otherwise.
All right, so Adrian Anthony Nicholson, I agree with this entirely. I don't care if what they want to feel away, but Group F alone more exciting than the whole Copa America.
I agree.
Me know say you would read that comment there, no. Me know.
The standard of play is higher in the Euro than at the Copa. Let's move on.
But next up we saw
Sweden.
Germany. You want to talk about Sweden since Sweden has already qualified?
Yeah,
Yes,
because
it was an entertaining game. Yes.
Lewandowski showed up late to the party.
All right, go ahead, man. Speak.
Oh, you showed up late to the party. I almost drag Poland over the line, but they did not deserve it, so they did not get it, thankfully. Sweden and Spain was on the verge of topping the group, deserve it, and they did not get it. So
Yeah, that's
Sweden
true.
won the group.
All right, so move on to something more entertaining, more enthralling. Later in the afternoon, we saw first up the game that was touted as a big game, Portugal taking on France, and both teams had double goal scorers in Cristiano Ronaldo, Cristiano Penaldo, and one Karim Benzema.
Benzema.
Yeah, man, Karim Benzema. Well, you can call him Benzema as well. But yeah, it was an entertaining game as well. But the big thing for a lot of people, well, not for Shakes so much, because Shakes has been calling for it for a long time, that one, Bruno Fernandes should be dropped, and today the coach agreed with Shakes and he dropped Fernandes this time around, and he
And
started a
Sanchez
more.
look.
But I've been saying it all along that drop on your DM. I just start Renato for one of them. That is what he should have done a long time ago.
Seems like he loved the Euros. Always, he looked good in the last one that they win, and he's looking good again. That's Sanchez.
No, man, no. But as I keep on telling people, don't let what people have keep on saying that, oh, he only plays good when it comes down to Portugal. It doesn't. The man has been having a wonderful season at Lille. If you actually watch him for Lille, he was one of those main orchestrators in that midfield for them. So don't follow the notion that has been pushed that he only plays well for Portugal. That's not true. But the game itself, Shakes, as I said, your boy Cristiano Penaldo
Wonderful game.
equaled Alidai record of 109 goals internationally, and now has a chance to break it come the next round. And I believe he will, because it seems it's a tournament for him to score against teams that he hasn't scored against before, because he has never scored against Germany. He did so. Never scored against France. He also did so in this match. So your take on this game, Shakes.
So you know that some teams they match up well. They match up well against other teams. That happens in football. Portugal actually matches up well against France. If you actually go back to, I believe it was the 2006 World Cup, the matches between France and Portugal over the years have always been entertaining and enthralling matches, right? Because they just match up very well. If many people remember that match, I think there were like a ton load of red cards in one of them. Probably Ryan can remember that match.
That was the Netherlands,
Probably about
Netherlands and Portugal.
Oh, it was that
See
match.
about-
I thought France Portugal had about 2 red cards in one of those games.
And
I
France
don't remember
won
that.
one game.
France
Yeah,
won
man, they
2-1.
had about 2 red cards. I'm not
I think it
talking
was
about the
2-1.
Dutch match.
I think it was 2-1. France won that semi-final in 06.
Yeah, but it was very, very close, right? So over the years we have seen that. Today it provided no difference if you actually watch the game. I was so happy that Bruno Fernandes was on the bench. I don't know what took the coach so long, but every pundit around the world was actually saying, even Jose Mourinho, who should be on a beach relaxing, said that Portugal, they were playing with 10 men, and that was actually factual. Because if you looked at, yes, I don't mind the fact that he dropped William Carvalho, because he has been contributing nothing to the Portuguese team in terms of moving forward. So that was another... Yeah, so we're actually playing with 9. So that was another excellent move by the coach, right? Renato Sanchez, listen, this guy brings a whole lot of energy. You could see that from the very first game as the sub against Hungary. You just said that Hungary were the best team in the group. I disagree with you, Levan. Hungary were just the most consistent team, but they went home. Even though they were consistent, they played hard. They played good team defense and tried to counter, right? But Sanchez from that first game for me should have been playing against Germany. I know that the result would have been different, at least a draw against Germany if Sanchez was on that field, right? So excellent change by the coach. If people actually...
Shakes.
Yes?
it wouldn't have been a draw. You know why?
It would have been a what?
Nelson Semedo was still on the field. Don't let that
Oh,
fool you.
come on, man. Yeah, but we know the fact of the matter is, and I was just going to point to the stat just a while ago. You see, ball retention in football, Levon, is a big thing. If you retain more of the ball, it means that you give your defenders time to rest. It means that the opponent is attacking less. So in this match, Portugal had a 90% pass accuracy. If Bruno was on that field, it would never have been 90%. And we all know this, right? Not only that, you see the intensity that Portugal had right throughout the game, even when they were down 2-1. That wouldn't have happened. Do you realize that the whole matchup between Sanchez and Kante today, it was so balanced? Like, I hope people actually saw that Sanchez was actually winning back the ball from Kante. It's not many people can do that right now based on the form that Kante is in.
But shit, you were saying that, right? Also, the coach made a blunder today because I wouldn't have started Martina. I'd have started someone who is a better passer, somewhat or more mobile. Reason being, if you have Renato Sanchez winning back balls off Kante and all that, you need someone to turn on the play quicker to actually cause even more damage.
And I don't disagree with that. Because
the Martino gamble worked. Who did not
in the end
who did not play very well, and nobody not calling him out for the last
Ronaldo.
while is brother.
Are you mad, Chris? Ronaldo?
Yeah, he looked labored today to me.
No.
Labored?
Every time
I don't
he
know
got
what you
the
were
ball,
watching.
seemed like someone
What
could get
game
it
were
off
you
his foot.
watching, Chris?
I don't know what you were watching.
What them say no? Shakes, not Ronaldo.
No.
Chris is talking about Ronaldo. He's saying
Yeah,
that
me I talk about
Ronaldo
Ronaldo.
looked labored.
Yeah, every time he got the ball, it seemed like
Martino played well.
What I'm saying, Ryan, he might have played well, but they could have used someone who could have basically have the same impact.
For me, I would have preferred if Neves had started in that game. That was just me, because when Jason sent me the starting 11, I was like, oh, I would have put Neves in for Moutinho, especially because
I would have done the same, but Martino played well, regardless of the fact.
Shakes, I'm going to follow up on something you mentioned about Bruno. Boss, I tell you from last time out, and I'm happy that they benched him. He shouldn't even have come on as a substitute. You know why?
He was terrible.
What was it again? I believe he has played 83 matches for club and country over the past year. We've been talking about lactic acid and all of that. Man, go sit down and rest.
No, it's not lactic acid, Levon.
Time for go sit down.
It is just Bruno Fernandes is just a small team bully, and people need to understand that, right? He has never shown up against the better teams, whether club or country, right? And there must be a reason why your coach playing you in the biggest match of the tournament has you on the bench.
I disagree with those Shakes, because even to the back end of the season, he played against small teams and it didn't impacted the games that much. So how can you say that he's a small team bully when he never played well against them? So
are you diminishing even more?
Diminish? No.
Yeah, you're diminishing him even more?
You and I are different when it comes on to Bruno. You know? As I said, I don't see him as a world-class player.
Neither do I.
You see him as an overrated average player. Remember, that's what you see him as.
Yeah, he's an overrated baller. I call him an average footballer.
Yeah, so that's where you and I disagree. And I said that's cool. We all have our opinion. Just that things speaks different volumes. But I mean, I wouldn't mind if he sit out the rest of the tournament. Next up, we saw Germany taking on Hungary, and a lot of Brazilian fans. I was tagged about 10 times right out to the entirety of that match. I didn't watch most of the first half because I was caught up at work, but I catch majority of the second half. And as I keep on saying, play 3 at the back. That will be your own detriment. And boy, it wasn't a good showing. I just hope that we actually reserve for our best game for the team they were going to play next. And I will mention wait till until tomorrow, until Friday.
Your best game was against Portugal. Remember that.
Not necessarily. Hungry turn up today and Hungry had their best game against France the other day. So
Ryan, maybe it's a strategy. Every other game.
Every other game, I said
there
it,
you
you
go.
know. I said it.
There you go.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's low strategy. Every other game to get them to peak.
But one thing that I noticed that from Jamal Musiala came on, he actually impacted the game, and I was always of the opinion that okay, I saw Low make a dumb decision earlier on today. First up, Kai Havertz just scored, right? Immediately, the man subbed off Havertz and Gnabry to bring on Muller and Werner.
Yeah,
Plus,
because he
Muller
was already in the process of taking him off before that
Hold
goal
on,
went in.
was Havertz having a bad game and just happened to score?
Yes.
He was having a bad game and just happened to score.
Listen, it was actually a keeper's error that resulted in the goal. You know.
I know it was. Was it similar to when Southgate was going to sub off Sterling and Sterling score and him nobody sub him off?
Yep.
But Levon, honestly, I was watching that game on my phone.
Remember, it cost Southgate for that in 11.
Yeah, take off him saying cannot play good.
Yeah.
But I'm just pointing out that.
But no, you're saying the opposite.
No, I'm saying that after he scored, he subbed him off, putting on Muller. No, boss.
Yeah, but Havertz wasn't doing anything in the game, Levon.
Yeah,
Havertz was not breaking down that Hungarian defense.
But Shakes, what you're not looking at from my perspective, you know, is that Thomas Muller is just as slow as Thomas Muller won't break down that defense either. Bring on someone who is more vibrant. Bring on Jamal Musiala earlier. That's what I'm getting
Didn't he bring on? Wasn't it Werner that he brought on for Havertz?
Werner for
Wasn't
Havertz
it a double change?
Yes, and Gnabry came on for Muller came on for Gnabry. But I'm saying that based on what
Werner, if you bring on Werner, it would be to do what you're asking. We know we're not going to score, but at least.
Exactly. He's intelligent enough for me to actually make key plays.
But yeah, a lot of people said that we wouldn't have made it through. Here we are, made it through, and last but not least, Wally has been lonely. Wally is ready to go, and I'm just going to give him a minute. I'm just going to give him a minute to talk about the Bush League and his Bush League team. They just did a comeback win against Colombia. They won 2-1.
I don't know which Bush League you're referring to, so
but
I can tell you about the Copa though. So you know, glad to the side pull through. There has been this has been a word that we've used for a lot of the show today. There has been a significant decline with the Brazilian football. I from my recollection, I think only the 94 team would be as deprived talent wise as this side. I really need to do some digging into to kind of understand why there's such a big talent deficit at this time. I was having a discussion the other day, and somebody reminded me that since Fabiano really have not had any quality of number 9 of his ilk, and that really speaks volumes as to the talent deficit that really experiencing now. But Spain won 2010 with some one love victories, so we will take the victories as they come.
Wally, I'm Brazilian. Did you just call Fabinho's name?
Which Fabinho am I talking about?
Sorry, Luis Fabiano. Sorry, Luis Fabiano.
Oh, Fabiano.
Luis Fabiano. Sorry.
So hold on. You rated Luis Fabiano?
Get shakes. You're not listening, you know.
No, I was. You said we haven't had a forward of his ilk.
Right, which
So when
shows the
somebody
extent to
uses the word ilk, I'm
which
asking,
Hold on,
you,
Shakes.
you
Shakes,
rate
what
the
you
man?
don't get that what he's saying. What he's saying that the talent is so deprived right now that you'd actually take a Luis Fabiano based over some of these
precisely,
men.
precisely,
No,
Levon, precisely.
hold on, no, Levon. I get that, but I'm just asking him, did he actually rate Luis Fabiano?
No, what Shakes, you're not getting what he's saying. He
Nah,
doesn't
get,
Alright,
him
necessarily
not
wait,
get the
rate
wait.
point,
him.
Levon. Him not get the
Hold
point.
on. Let
No,
me
him
ask you
said the
this in a
side drop
different
off.
way.
Him said the side
Out
drop
of
off so
10,
bad.
out
He would
of
have taken
10,
Luis Fabiano.
Wally. Out of
Exactly,
10.
that's the
No, no,
point I'm
no.
making
But
simply.
out of 10, how much you would rate Luis Fabiano as a footballer back in his time?
I would say maybe 5.56.
Thank you.
And I would have take that in the side right now. That's
So
it.
that means that goes back to the very word that we were using earlier. The talent is just poor. Poor, poor, poor. Because if you would take somebody in that ilk of 5.5 to lead your line right now, oh my God, but Wally, but they could just take you and put you up there up top.
No, man.
But I think Wally would actually be a better footballer than even Fred, you know?
I
And
don't
Wally,
know.
just to state this, and
Fred
just
should
to
be
state
banned
this,
from wearing the color green, yellow,
exactly, the
and
man is
blue.
Maltese, right? And just to state this team is actually poorer than the 1994 World Cup team.
Ah,
Yup, it is.
I can agree with that.
Mr. Shakes, when you
It
look across
is.
Mr. Shakes, when you look across the bench and you have to depend on man like Vinicius Jr. and all those men to come on to make an impact.
Levon, if Richarlison can be leading the Brazilian line
And Jesus.
Gabriel
and
Jesus,
Gabriel Jesus, come on. What is Brazil really
And
doing?
yeah, Fred is a midfield general.
All of a sudden, I see people talking about, oh, you see, if you play Fred in the right system, the man is a Malta cap.
All right, here's the thing, Shakes. England have right backs like dirt. I can give you one or two.
Listen, Ryan, Brazil need a whole lot of fixing.
Danilo would be
right?
like 10 tries right back for England.
And if people actually realize Brazilian football, as in the national team, it has declined so drastically since 2010 to the point where they basically had to focus the team around one man. That's what they did, you know. They focus the team around one man. So if he's rolling on the floor, they are rolling out of the World Cup. If he's injured, they are being stretchered out of the World Cup. That's what has happened over the years, and the talent has not. There you go. Big up yourself, Kevin Bernard. Thank you.
Wally don't like to hear say anything about that, you know, Shakes, because in Wally's world, he's a wizard. As I told Wally before on multiple occasions, that man is nothing but a ground lizard.
Levon,
He's
you know that back
No, I agree.
back in 2018, I actually had
third best baller in the world.
Neymar
Ball blood.
to win Ballon d'Or, right? Because I expected him coming off his Barcelona form where they won the Champions League and he was still playing well, and going into that World Cup, I expected, but the man go to the World Cup and then roll upon the floor like carpet. Come on,
Alright.
man.
Hold on,
Like a weed walker.
Wally, you just said something. What you said? Currently the best footballer in the world?
I said the third best footballer in the world.
No,
So
not
who are the
us.
two best?
Hmm?
Who are the two best? Who are the two
No,
best?
the two giants, man. As
No,
usual.
no, boss.
All
But
right. All right. Anyway, let us
they're
move.
not the best in the world right now.
They're
Don't
not the
do it.
best anymore.
But Neymar is not
What?
even the
Give
best.
me the best. Give me the best.
Neymar is not even the best player at his club.
Top three. Give me the top three. Give me
Right
the top
now?
three baller now.
Lewandowski, United.
Right off the top of the head, Lewandowski. And
Kante.
there's no way you're going to leave out N'Golo Kante.
Kante
No
starts
way.
in everybody's team. Neymar doesn't.
Unless you want him to roll.
Exactly.
But, Wally.
He's top five, bro.
Oh, Neymar.
The man is just a talent. Wally. I've come to the realization and accepted it as it is. The man
No,
is
you
just
can't say the
a
man is-
big talent. And that's it.
What that mean though? What does that mean? He's
Alright,
just a
Wally.
big talent. What that
Wally,
mean?
you remember back in 2015, the heights that Neymar reached? in terms of the football that he was playing,
Mm-hmm.
would you say that Neymar has improved since then?
No,
Thank you.
Okay.
No,
no,
nothing
but
further, Your Honor.
but hold on, no, but look at that ceiling. Look at the ceiling he was at. That was basically the peak of his pause.
No.
Why so
How much
early?
more room
So,
was
what
there
was
for
his
him?
age
so
at that
early?
time?
Hold on.
Hold on, no, how much
One quick
more room
second,
was
though.
there for him to
Wally,
improve where that was
Wally,
concerned?
you mentioned that, right? Since as that was the ceiling and his ceiling was here, has that ceiling raised above the level or has it fallen down? Which one would you say?
No, but hold on, no, everybody has a ceiling. You can't knock the man because he
Hold
hasn't
on,
gone
hold
above
on.
his ceiling.
How much
So
years
you
are
are
you
saying
saying?
that. So you are
Chase, how much
saying that
years? Hold on.
Neymar.
How much years ago did
Neymar's.
Chase?
That's what I'm saying. 6 years. That's what I'm asking Wally.
So
You are
he
telling
peaked
me
at
that
23.
Neymar's ceiling was at 23, 24? You're crazy.
No, I agree with him. You know
What do you
why?
mean?
You know what? It's just like
When
Dele
do
Alli.
footballers peak?
Dele Alli reached his peak
When
at
was
age
Messi's
23?
22.
When was Messi's peak? At what age
23?
was Messi's peak?
Messi has been in his peak for 15 years, boss.
At what age was his
Wally, if
peak?
you're going to do if you're going to do this, I can name for each baller you name that peak in the early 20s. I can name 10 others for each of them that peak their rightful age in their mid
Wally,
to late 20s. So
footballers
let's
peak
don't
between
do
age
this.
26 and 30.
Sorry, between what?
26 and
26
30.
and 30.
All right.
Yeah.
So based on where he was, what?
Barring Messi, Ronaldo,
And
Maradona,
those
and
freak
Pele.
of natures.
Those men are just freak of nature.
Exactly. So we're talking about all the others.
It's just like with Usain Bolt, as we mentioned earlier. Usain Bolt is a freak of nature. We're not going to bring those guys into this
Oh,
argument. Just
and
keep it
Fat
out.
Man from Brazil, El Phenomenon. He
I'm
was
I'm
also a freak of nature.
I'm not sure why people saying that nothing has declined. I already said that he has declined. I already established that.
No, you
But
just said it now. Remember, I asked would you say that the
no,
ceiling that he had set for himself? I just asked you the question, I never answered it. I said the ceiling that
no.
he set for himself, would you say he has maintained it, heightened it, or declined?
And I said decline, and I say you can't knock him to not reach his ceiling. That's how the whole ceiling argument come up. I said
But
I'm saying that the heights that he was at, what more would you have wanted him to do?
what
Answer
Cut out
that
the
more?
antics.
question.
Cut
But
out the
hold
Better,
on.
antics and play football.
But Neymar has
be
never
more
scored 50 goals in a
consistent.
season. He has not
If
scored 40 odd goals in a season consistently. Shouldn't that be his peak based on his talent?
No, but how many prior to Messi and CR7? Name the ballers that have scored 40 goals in a season for two consecutive seasons, much
But
less
Wally,
three.
but
These
Wally,
two
you
these
just
two,
but Wally,
these
you
two
just
persons are
said that
aliens.
Neymar is the third best player in the world. So
And
okay, so even if we don't get to the 60s and 50s with Neymar, shouldn't he be at the bracket below in the 40? Because guess what? I have multiple
no,
footballers that are giving me 30s. So if I'm going to put him in that category of 30, he's not a wizard.
So guess what,
So he
Wally?
has to be in the
what
40s.
how many goals a season was El Phenomenal scoring? You don't realize that Messi and CR7 are alien,
No,
That's
All
no,
right.
something
no.
you
So,
don't
so
we
hold
said
on,
realize.
that.
Hold
Wally.
on.
Wally.
Wally,
Since,
Wally.
No, we
since you're
said
taking
that.
along
No,
that line, right?
Wally, we
One
said
second.
that.
One second.
We're just saying that Neymar has fallen off, but we have accepted Ronaldo and Messi for what they have done. But Neymar should have gone on from what he was doing at age 23. That's just a reality.
All
Gone
right.
on from
Hold
what?
on.
No,
Let's just put it.
give
Let's
me
just
some
put it in
Wally,
dialogue.
all right, look here. It is expected that footballers get better when they become older in their 20s, going up to
Thank
about
you.
30,
I'm
thereabouts.
going to bring. I'm
So
going to
that
bring
was
up.
the
I'm going to
expectation
bring up. I'm
of
going to bring up
Neymar.
Anthony comment. I'm going to bring up Anthony comment, but I want to point out one thing. Wally, since as you have all these guys, as you say, Ronaldo and Messi they are aliens, right? We're talking about those guys with 50 and 60 goals. You know that the last man to actually score 40 goals was actually Robert Lewandowski. And if you're going to say Neymar is the third, then he's not the third then, because if Lewandowski can do it, a man who's, you say, less talented, then you should have this man doing way better. But here's a comment from Anthony. Where is it? Here's Anthony saying that with Neymar talent, he should have been performing at a higher standard. There are too many persons performing ahead of him. Is it true?
Yeah.
Congratulations, one Ballon d'Or.
And the thing that I wanted to get in that I didn't get in.
What happened to Levon's camera? I think he's.
What happened?
All right, Wally. All right, the producer said it. The producer said, based on Neymar's talent and with, you know that you know when that person age, over time they're going to decline. But with CR7 and Messi declining, Neymar should have been the man to take up the mantle. He should have won a Ballon d'Or. He doesn't have anything to show for it. Nothing.
Neymar has been a disappointment.
Instead, it's another 30-year-old that is taking up the mantle.
Levon, but listen, it's not just Lewandowski, right? Because Lewandowski has been scoring 40-odd goals per season for about 6 seasons straight. I can just go to Luis Suarez. If Luis Suarez was able to do what he did, where he was scoring 40-odd goals consistently per season, he actually reached 50 goals or 50-odd goals in one season. Based on the talent, nobody can tell me that Luis Suarez have more talent than Neymar. So
you think Harry Kane have more talent than Neymar? Not even close.
Exactly, right? Why every season people must have more league goals than Neymar? Plus you're playing in Bush League. Why Mbappe must have more goals than you if you are the so-called third best player in the world, as Wally pointed out, right? As I said, for me, Neymar is not even the best player on his club team. Mbappe is. And for the past 2 or 3 seasons, I believe, Mbappe has finished with the most goals at that club.
All right, Wally, come in now.
Come to Wally.
Not sure.
Why, Wally? Why do you think he gets?
Oh, we can't hear him.
Anyway, it says a minute he was going to give him.
But I understand Wally's point, but Wally as a Brazilian fan, right, also needs to remember that Fatman Ronaldo was the most polled player for Brazil in the world overall, right? In the early 2000s, and normally even though he was the most polled player, he still won 3 Ballon d'Or.
Not only that, Josh, El Phenomenon, he actually scored 34 league goals in his first season at Barcelona, and then he moved. So it was actually injuries that prevented Ronaldo from scoring 40 goals every single season. But we all knew that if it weren't for the injuries, he would have done that consistently based on his talent. Because even when he returned from injury, he was still scoring a ton load of goals. But Neymar has not fulfilled his potential. I'm sorry, he hasn't.
But Wally, all right, I want to ask Wally one question, right? I want to ask Wally one question. Can you really imagine Neymar retiring from football without a Ballon d'Or? A World Player of the Year? Can you imagine, or any Brazilian fan imagine that? Because up to now, I can't imagine.
Oh, well, so.
Wally, may I ask you a question? Didn't Luka Magic won it a couple years ago?
2018.
2018, yeah.
Wally, since we're going to go, all right. I'm glad that you go down that line, you know. All right, Wally, hold on a second. I'll see a lot of people complaining that they're not hearing you. So jump out and jump in back. As I was about to mention, right? Neymar, for that matter, since as Luka Magic got it 2018 based on what he did at the World Cup, why couldn't Neymar inspire his Brazilian team to go on to actually get that title, and then he would have been in the conversation to get the Ballon d'Or as well, since as they're going off that premise. All right, guys, tell me if you're hearing him now. Wally, go ahead.
No.
Oh boy. All right, so as we were speaking about it, Shakes, it's quite disappointing for a man of Neymar talent.
Since you heard what Wally said, you can probably repeat for the listeners what Wally was saying.
All right, so he's basically saying that Neymar has a track record of injuries. So on that premise, that's part of the reason why he hasn't fulfilled or come to terms with scoring those 40 goals per season, all of that. That's basically what he was saying.
But if he's using that line of reasoning and he's injured, how then does he be the third best player in the world?
All right, Wally, talk and let me see if they're hearing you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, make your
Hello?
point now, Wally.
You hear me?
Yeah, man.
Go ahead.
Right. So what we're trying to do is establish some things. We have said that where he was in 2016, he has not improved. Agreed with that. What we're trying to do is quantify a reasonable expectation is, right? Now, Sheikh said that based on his talent, Neymar should be scoring 4 goals a season. I am saying one, because outside of the big two, you had persons scoring 40 goals a season on a consistent basis. What context? One, with the injury history, and two, with the fact that he is the most foul player. So it is very I don't see anybody with in that text who is the goals on a consistent basis. We saw a fat man. If you look at persons with similar or greater talent, fat man, we didn't see 40 goals a season, 3 consecutive season, and he falls in the same context and the most foul player. It is reasonable to expect somebody goals and they're not on the pitch. Them though, that's an unreasonable expectation. If you had maybe said 30
All right, Wally.
goals,
50 goals.
Wally, let me ask you a question. I just want to get this across.
they're not,
All right, Wally, I'm going to ask you a question. Shakes, wasn't it probably 2 seasons ago Mohamed Salah scored overall 48 goals? Was it 50?
50 from 65.
So he scored 50 goals from 65 games just a couple of seasons ago. I mean, Mohamed Salah is nowhere close talent-wise to Neymar, and if Mohamed Salah can do it in the toughest league, and Neymar is down by the Bush League and can't score that much, even with Mbappe being out, Mbappe return and even end as the leading goal scorer for PSG. I mean, Sheikh, go ahead.
So let me give you, because Wally say nobody not scoring consistently. This is Aguero since his Atletico days. 27 goals, 21 goals, 20, 27, 30, 17, 28, 32, 29, 33, 30, 32, 23.
And this is league?
This is overall, right?
Okay.
So Aguero is giving you basically 25 to 30 goals per season. Everybody can agree that Neymar has more talent than Aguero. So that's what I'm saying, I don't need 50 goals from Neymar. But if you have more talent and you are the third best player in the world, according to Wally, then you should
Shakes.
be above this 30 goals.
Shakes, you forgot one thing about Aguero. Remember that Aguero is also injury prone.
No, I know. But I
No,
was just giving the overall stats
no man,
with
just add
or
it
without
because
the
Wally is
injuries.
arguing that Neymar injury prone, so you have to add in that about Kun Aguero as well. And Kane. Remember that Kane is also injury prone.
Listen, that's just an excuse, right? He was saying another footballer now that he hasn't seen, right? So let me just educate Wally, right? Because I don't know how Wally don't know these things. So this is Luis Suarez from his Ajax days. 22 goals, 28 goals, 49 goals, 12 goals, 16 in the season that he moved from Ajax to Liverpool. So he had 16 goals overall. He played 37 games, 17 goals, 30 goals, 31 goals, 25 goals, 59 goals, 37, 31, 25, 21. So if these men can give you 25 to 30 goals, say Suarez actually reached 59 goals at his peak. He reached 59 goals from 53 games. Why Neymar can't give me 40 goals per season?
But all right, Shakes, let's say we keep on comparing strikers to Neymar. I just judged for Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah is not an out-and-out striker, and he gave Liverpool more than 40 goals. So if Mohamed Salah can do that, why Neymar, who is superior in talent, couldn't do that?
Pull up Neymar stats since him go PSG. How much goals a season he must score?
Oh, you want Neymar? Let me look for Neymar.
Pull up Neymar stats.
Yeah, man. Let me look for Neymar's own. As I said, Neymar is not even the best player at the club. The best player at the club is all right. So this is Neymar since going to Barcelona. So first season 15 goals. We can give him a pass. Next season 39 goals. The following season 31 goals. His final season at Barcelona 20 goals. He went to PSG, 28 goals. Next season, 23, 19, 17.
Right. So and what happened for the season when he scored 19 and 17?
No,
So,
as in he gave you 23, 19, and 17. Or if you want his entire PSG record, he has basically played 30 games on average per season.
Okay. So that's PSG. So that's 30 out of a possible 38.
And what's the games the play? Pull up Mbappe stats. Since you say he's not Neymar is not the best player. Pull up Mbappe stats.
Let me give you Mbappe.
And also pull assists and look at all those other top player assists.
Let me give you Mbappe. Mbappe, 21 in his first season there, 39, 30, 42.
Right. Look at the assists
and
now.
average games average for Mbappe.
Mbappe. So on average, he has played 40. Let me work out the maths for this. 43 games on average. And his goal ratio is between 30 to 40. Because 21 plus 39 plus 30 plus 42 gives you in the 30s.
All right. I see Baron in the comment section asking that which player that plays Neymar position is scoring 30 goals consistently. Boss, that's I don't want to say a stupid question, but it kind of is on that line. You know why? Remember that Wallace said that Neymar is the third best player in the world now.
Thank you.
Supremely talented. So if you look at that standpoint,
but talent is not only measured in goals scored, Levon.
Wally, remember that the premise of our argument all night long is about goal scoring. That is what we have been discussing.
But we said two things. We said your expectation is that he should score 40 goals. And I am saying that is an unreasonable expectation. When Ronaldinho won Ballon d'Or. He wasn't anywhere near the top goal scorer, but you saw his impact. You saw his impact, so you can't make the point
But
that because he's the third.
Ronaldinho was further away from the goal than Neymar is.
No, but you're using the fact that because he's the third best, he should be scoring more goals. And you had
No,
a person
no, no,
who.
no,
But
no,
that's
no, no,
just
no,
what
no,
you
no,
just
no, no,
said.
no, no.
That's what you just
Hold
said.
on. Wally, Neymar is classified as a forward. Ronaldinho has never been a forward in his career.
It doesn't matter what you're classified as.
So hold
So,
on.
so,
So who's supposed to score the goals? Not the forwards.
so what? It depends on the role you play. It depends on the role you play in the side.
So what role is Neymar playing?
Neymar playing for out.
No. What role does Neymar play?
Neymar is a provider. He's a provider.
Since when?
What do you mean since when? So I want to goal Neymar score? Neymar no assist.
Doesn't other forward assist as well?
Wow.
Wally, come on, Wally.
Wally, Ronaldo has the most assists in the Champions League.
Right. So what I'm saying to you is that the value is not only measured in goals scored. That's the point. That's the point I'm making.
While you're talking about impact and all of that, so why is it that PSG hasn't won a Champions League title since Neymar has been there? Because you just mentioned about impact, you know. And why is it that since Neymar has been playing for Brazil hasn't gone beyond the semi-final stage of the World Cup?
Not only that, let me insert this because as you bring up because I was looking for it. Neymar's goals for Brazil, 68 in 107 games. Work out that ratio, Wally, and see how good he is in terms of scoring goals. Since you say he's a provider, 68 goals. He's actually second on the Brazil all-time list. Second to Pele.
Right,
107 games.
Right, because in the Brazil role, he's a focal point as it relates to goal scoring. He's
Really?
not that at PSG.
Hold on, Wally. Who is always trying to beat 5 men on the field to create for the other people? No Neymar.
So how him score? What do you mean?
Huh? No. You claim that because the role he's playing, he's not scoring the goals. But I'm like, no, based on where I see Neymar on the field, he should be scoring. He should always be scoring.
What I'm saying to you is that the attacking options that are available to him in Brazil compared to when he's at PSG and worse Barcelona, it's not the same.
All right. So let's get
Brilliant point, Wally. Brilliant point. So guess what? The club level is actually better. So it should be easier for him to score more goals at the club level. Since you just said that he's playing with inferior players in Brazil.
All right.
For the Brazil national team.
Shakes, you're a man that straps Marcus Rashford right across his back for club and country because he said that he's done. Marcus Rashford is not a centre forward. He plays basically the same position that Neymar plays. Why do we criticize him a lot? Because he should be scoring
more goals because he gets in the position. Listen, why you think people call Sterling like that? Who you think make Pep lose all heap of them Champions League games? Sterling, because he gets into those positions and he does not finish. It's the same thing with Neymar. Neymar has the talent. He possesses the skill. He should be scoring more goals. What's so hard? Listen, every pundit in world football had Neymar at age 23 to be the next Ballon d'Or winner after Ronaldo and Messi.
Yep.
So why you doing around it, Wally, making it look like, oh, we're asking too much of Neymar to score 40 goals for 4 seasons in his career? That shouldn't be hard in this day and age when the art of defending has changed drastically and he's not even playing in Italy.
All right. So how many goals should Hazard be scoring?
Hazard no good like Neymar?
No, I just answer the question. So we agree on Neymar. So we just want to get in the perspective.
All right.
How
So
much goals should Hazard be scoring?
on Hazard, I believe that Hazard should also be scoring more goals because he has the talent, he has the skill, he can beat a player, he's
So
always
for a
in
man
the
like him,
box,
so Wally, for a man like
so he
Hazard,
should be scoring more.
20 goals per season.
Thank
That should
you.
be easy for him.
For his talent.
Mind you, Hazard is nowhere close to the talent of Neymar.
Exactly.
But okay,
None of them not achieving.
It's just
yeah,
listen,
both
Wally,
of them
it's
have
just like
and achievement.
Salah no come close to Neymar in terms of talent.
Nowhere.
And look how inefficient Salah is in front of the goal. The man will miss
And
some
still
chances.
score
You have to
40 yards.
wonder sometime, and the man still has score 40 goals per season.
Brilliant
And them
point.
things that give you a headache, because you're
Brilliant.
like, my God. But look at this man. This man will miss some easy chance and still him end up with 40 goals in a season. So hold on. If Neymar is in that same position, plus he has better skill, better talent, why should we expect any less, Wally? It can't be too much.
All right.
That's the whole reason. That's the whole reason Neymar wanted to leave Messi, because he wanted to show the world that he could actually dominate and he could be the man.
All right. So we'll agree to disagree. Over to you again, Mr. Host.
All right. So on the final note, we just want to point out that the Phoenix Suns have taken a 2-0 lead in the Western Conference, and over the next one, Milwaukee Bucks lost 116 to 113 to Atlanta Hawks in the first game. So interesting times in basketball. And as I said, guys, we have some interesting things coming forward. Just keep on tuning into Sports Frenzzyy and you'll see all the things that is on board. Soon and very soon, you guys will see the show more than likely all 5 days of the week. It's something that we have in the pipeline, so just look forward to that. And it was a wonderful discussion. We had Wally, Ryan, Chris started off with track and field, and we touched on football. And well, we were going to just stick on Euros, but Wally seems like a lonely chap, so we had to bring up some bush league into the thing, as they call it, bushme ball. So we had to bring up some bushme ball football, and it led over to a Neymar discussion. And this is just how it goes sometimes. Now, sometimes we have these discussions, and the next time we doesn't. But thanks again to the producer, Josh Carl. He's the one that makes this possible. Without him, we don't have the show. And also, more importantly, our viewers. Without the viewers, there's no Sports Friends. Remember that over here, we're a family. So once you show support, we'll keep on bringing the show to you guys. And come on, man, just keep on sharing it, because I noticed that you guys don't share it as much as you normally do before. So I need you guys to keep on sharing it so the thing can grow more and we can reach to a higher level. So just keep on supporting. Until Friday, stay safe. Go and watch some track and field. Well,
big up Trey Young.
Euros is on the break, and yeah, of course you have to big up Trey Young. Euros is on a break until Saturday. And as I said, watch some basketball and some track and field, man, and just enjoy the rest of the night. And till then, peace out. So long.
Brazil. Oh.
Boss, don't end my show up on a Brazil.